All right, how's it going? My name's IPA Fan. Today we are chugging a Bock and talking about hops. To my right, your left, J-Hump.
Craft wetness here. I'm going to be chugging this root killer Maybach I got from the brewery yesterday.
Wow.
Nice. Henry.
Wow.
Henry.
I'm going to be doing also a Maybach from Source Brewing Company.
And that is Hopped Up Synchronous.
Hopped up, yeah.
Al.
Beer lover here. I'm doing the Hofbrau Maybach as well as the other guys, Maybach.
Nice.
I love that brewery.
And 7.2%, just FYI.
Gordy.
I am also going with, Gordy Drinks Craft. I'm also going with the brewery, the Maybach one, coming in at 7%. Looking forward to this.
Wow.
Ricky.
All right, guys. Ricky with the good beers here. I am going with, I don't know how to say it, man. Ziegenmensch from Schilling Brewing Company out of
Ziegenmensch,
New.
yes.
Can you say it again?
Ziegenmensch?
Close enough.
Close enough.
Ziegenmensch.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, you got to yell it.
Sam.
You're muted.
Yeah, Ice Queen, you're muted.
Ice Cream Brews, sorry, technical difficulties. I picked up this one called Velvet Glow from, this is from Rushing, and it says it's a hell style. So that is technically a type of Bock. Hopefully, maybe Al or someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I got.
Rich.
I like that one.
I am going with an American classic, just a Shiner Bock, which is an American style Bock.
And
from
that is
Shiner,
Monkey.
Texas. And yes.
And I have no idea how to pronounce just about anything. I'm going to go with Schneider Weiss Aventius Eisenbach. And it's only 12 ouncer, but in my defense, I looked at it and it's 12% beer too. So
Yes,
It's
sir.
actually a very good beer. It's actually a very
Best way
good
to start the day off.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I
got
reviewed
it,
that beer actually. That's a really
You're going to
good
have a
one.
good Sunday, Cisco.
I was like, I got to get 2 just to make it 16 ounces. And then I looked at it, I was like, no, I'm cool.
No point.
I don't think we're chugging these. We're going to chew through these things, man.
Yeah, these are really bready. They're really,
Yeah.
like if ever anybody noticed, it's just really like bready, like rye bread, pumpernickel bread. It's
Yeah. I like
Okay.
that smell.
All right, Gordy, you're in the center. Why don't you count us down, man?
All right. Glasses up.
Well, no
Ready?
rush.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Cheers.
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 Yes. That was thick.
How was
It's like eating a can of biscuits.
It almost reminds me of a Hefeweizen. I mean,
It's kind of
Oktoberfest.
biscuity, man. It's
Yeah, it's like eating a
That's
can of biscuits,
That's a
bro.
meal in itself right there.
oh,
Right, dude.
cracky.
Never did.
I just had my dinner.
I was gonna say, Drunken Monkey probably had it the easiest though. Shiner's not.
No, that Shiner Bock on its own is not exactly an easy drink.
I love Shiner Bock.
Yeah.
It tastes amazing, but
Oh, goodness.
that was a lot.
The spices are overwhelming.
Yeah, they're all coming
Damn,
out
son.
right now.
I had like 4 of the beers before I got here. So.
Jealous.
It's like District 96.
Cruisers.
No.
All right, so we're talking about hops. Let's see what everyone's got and what hops you got. Let's go ahead and go in the opposite order. Sam, what you got?
I had Simcoe hops. So those are my favorite. So everybody let me have that. Rat. And I bought this one from Other Half. It's Forever Simcoe Double. I like the single one, but I also like this one too. So Alex, are we gonna go through about the hops or
Let's
just say
just
what
go,
we're drinking?
Just a breakdown of what the hops is, so everybody else knows what it's about.
All right. I like Simcoe hops mainly because they're smoother. I don't think it's a very jarring hop, and that's why I like it. Personally.
Cool. Drunken Monkey.
Drunken Monkey. I got also other half. I got Mosaic Daydream.
Oh, I have
It's a
that.
single hop Mosaic. It's a 6% IPA. I do like Mosaic. It's not my favorite, but I do like Mosaic. I like how it's actually kind of versatile in a way. Like it can have a very fruity taste, but it could also have a very earthy taste. I think it depends on where it is in the boil. But I do think it's also really smooth. The other unique thing is that it's not a pure hop. It's a blend of a creation of Nugget and dang it, what was the other one? Is it Simcoe? I think Nugget and something else.
Maybe it's truffle butter.
I believe it's a hybrid creation that, which is
You did your homework. The boil part, I was like pretty impressed.
That's why I made that face of like,
I saw them.
Good for him, man. Yeah.
Dirty Al, what do you got?
Chicken, by the way.
I am.
I'm not laughing, Rich.
Okay, I'm rocking Pet Insurance. This is a collaboration beer between Non Sequitur and I believe Evergreen Brewing Company. My hop choice was supposed to be Sabro, but unfortunately I wasn't able to find a straight up Sabro, so it's Sabro and Nelson. The Sabro, I believe, well, the Nelson, you're going to get those white grape, white wine, some crushed gooseberry notes. And with the Sabro, you're going to get the tangerine, cream, mint, and coconut flavors involved in that. The nose on this is not pronounced at all. I don't get much of anything except for that. Also on the Sabro, you get cedar plank. But as far as the nose goes, I haven't gotten any of that. So that's the breakdown of Sabro and Nelson.
Gordy? Okay. So I decided to go with the boatloads of Strata from Humble Sea, West Coast IPA, 7%. And apparently it's the passion fruit meets the pot. That's what they're calling it as the hop. So you're gonna get a bunch of passion fruit, melon, strawberry, mango right off the bat. And with this one, I'm definitely getting a lot of strawberry. So I really enjoy this tropical blend.
Nice. What about you, Ricky?
All right, guys. So I went with Cashmere. All right, this is Lawson's Finest Super Session number 5, Cashmere. I like this version of the Cashmere only because it's a lighter version. This only comes in at 4.8%. So you get a lot more of the lemon and peach and stuff like that. You don't get a lot of the sweet coconut and candy that you normally do when they boil it a lot. You want to use it as a in the whirlpool like they would with some other ones, but super clean, super crisp. Was really nice. Such a good hop. I love this hop.
Nice. And what about you, Jay Hunt?
I am rocking this double Jawa juice from Unsung, and it's 100% El Dorado hops. The profile you get is like a bunch of green fruit, like watermelon, pears, and shit. And
Pears and shit.
it's like, oh my bad. It's like a high. It's like very acidic too. So it's like a high. I think I read alpha acid. You guys know
The
what that
alpha
means?
acids are high, yeah.
Okay, so it balanced pretty well for the double IPA. Very tropical, fruity, all that good stuff. So
And shit.
And shit. Right.
And shit.
Hopped up Syncomist?
So I went with Source again. This is a Calypso single hopped IPA coming in at 8%. So Calypso is a weird one. Calypso is actually a dual purpose hop. You can actually use it for bittering, or you can use it for dry hopping as well, or for aroma and flavor. But it's something that brewers kind of stay away from, just because, like, I'm getting the smell very herbally right off the nose, and the taste is very tea-like, like if you're drinking like an herbal tea,
Like black tea.
yeah, like black tea.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's more of, but the notes that they say online, it's citrusy, tangerine-like, sappy pear, stone fruits. None of that comes out. It's literally drinking an herbal black tea.
So
Oh, wow, pass.
That's not one that you normally see on cans, you know?
Yeah, Calypso's very rare.
So I got a Beechwood Citraholic IPA.
Juicy.
And of course, anytime you go Citra, and I know it's basic, as they would say, but I'm always with Citra, man. You can't go wrong with Citra. Like it could actually be pretty diverse. Like obviously you get your juice bombs with Citra, but sometimes you get that West Coast dryness finish at the end as well. So just
That dank.
yeah, you get some dank in there. The fact that you can do that with one hop is pretty great. And compared to most hops, you won't get a lot of common one hop beers unless it's Citra. Like it's a little bit harder to find one hop of, Citron or whatever it is. Mosaic, granted, you will too, but Citra, I think, is the other, like the big one that is just one standard hop you throw in there, and you just make a lot of different types of great beer with this Citra.
So I have to ask, out of everyone who has their, respective hopped beer, are you getting what you're expecting to get out of your beer? Okay, Rich, why not? What are you not getting?
So, well, it just surprised me. So when I looked it up, like I said, I was mentioning like it's very versatile from what I was like reading about Mosaic. Like they describe berries and they even say like mango, stone fruit, floral, tropical citrus, grassy pine, like all these different flavor profiles that you could get from Mosaic. The one thing they mentioned in there, which I was like, yeah, right, is bubble gum. And I'm kind of getting that in here. Like I've never tasted a beer that had a bubblegum kind of flavor to it. It's super sweet and creamy. And I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting more like fruits with a earthy kind of finish, but I'm getting like straight bubblegum.
Yeah, so the thing with that Mosaic, sometimes you're gonna get that blueberry, the bubble gum, but it's seldom that I know of anyone that says, oh yeah, I get the bubble gum, but you must obviously have gotten like a really overly done a Mosaic to get that, because it's hard to get that note. So it's surprising that you actually pulled it.
I think it just
might have also been where they use it in the boil too, because that's from other half. So that's typically a hazy IPA. They typically with hazies you use hops at the back end, where Lawson's more traditional style. This is an IPA, but more traditional style. This is not a hazy by any means. I'm sure they use this more in the front end than they do in the back end.
I think it also depends on the lot you get and the year you get. Because
that's true too.
The hops vary from year to year. You're not going to get the same hop from one year to the next.
Right. You can hold that in the same regards as wine, where the grapes change the flavor over the time. Yeah. Dirt and the sunlight and the weathering and all that stuff. So yeah, that would be the case. So did anybody else like not come through with their hop combination, or their hops? Did it fall shy of what it was supposed to be?
I do want to step on that question, but first I just wanted to say, because I forgot to mention it. If you don't know, citrus, it should be your orange, grapefruity type flavor. Could be most tropical. Sorry, I just want to throw that in case anybody didn't know. Sorry, go back to you, Gal. Go ahead.
I was just wondering if anybody else had the if anything fell shy of what they were expecting out of their can. For me, it didn't work out. This combination, although I thought it would have been a great Sabro and Nelson, in this can doesn't work well at all. Not even close. I would never buy this beer again. I wouldn't give it to anybody.
I would say that Nelson would probably dry it out. It'll probably
Nelson is dominating everything. I'm just getting like white grape skin. That's it. There's nothing else that's telling me that there's Sabro in this. I should be getting some coconut. I should be getting some woody cedar plank. Nothing. Just white grape.
I think it also depends on the brewery, like the adjuncts that they add to it. If they don't add anything, then those flavors are not going to come out. Luckily I got
IPA. There's no adjuncts to it, so it's just a hopped beer. If there was some kind of fruit element to it that they threw in, that would be a different story. But this is just two hops, and that's that. It's not bad, but there's no depiction to what the combination is. It's just you poured it and I gave it to everybody here. They're like, what the fuck am I drinking?
I think going back to Gordy talking about, you know, the brewery itself, I think that plays a role because, you know, you got your 90, 60, 30, 15 minute, you know, additions, you know, when you're doing it, where you're extracting the alpha acid from the hop. And so that's exactly what you're doing at those stages. But later on, when you're whirlpooling something, you know, you have to have the right temperature to throw your hops in there. Because if you don't, you're going to get totally different flavor,
Henry,
you know, combinations on your beer.
can you explain to our listeners who don't really know the difference between throwing it in at the 30, 60, whatever boil as opposed to the whirlpool?
So the 90, whatever, you know, 90, 60, 30, 15, those are just specific additions where the protein of your malt is being broken down at different stages. And so you add a hop addition at those stages, so you extract the alpha acids, you know, from your bittering complex of the hop is what you're basically extracting out of at those specific times. Whirlpool, you bring it down to a certain temperature, and now you're extracting aroma out of the hop.
Right.
And so double dry hopping does the same thing as well.
Fucking complex.
A lot of hazies.
Just
a lot
took
of
me to
hazies
school.
Yeah, a lot of hazies
Yeah.
stick to whirlpooling, where a lot of the more traditional IPAs stick to bittering at the front end.
Yep.
So that's why when I taste cashmere on a like a East Coast style IPA, like a hazy, you get a lot more of the coconut and the candied and the like candied fruit, because that's what comes out of the cashmere in the whirlpooling and the later that you do with, like, when something like this, you get a lot more of the lemon and lime, you know, peach citrus.
I don't know. I just like seeing Al's face for the certain reaction people are saying. You're just like,
So
Yeah, I'm just absorbing this.
we're talking about like basically hops we like. I mean, other than somebody didn't care for that one. But
yeah.
Is there any hops you guys actually avoid? Like if you see it, you're like, damn it, I guess if I have to drink it, I will, but I'm not gonna.
Stouts. Yeah,
The
that hop, that hop called stouts, I avoid.
I don't personally like Vic's Secret, but I've noticed that they like to combine Vic's Secret and Simcoe a lot lately. But even with other half, like this is the double Simcoe. Does anybody know, like, you know, they did the regular Simcoe forever, and then this is the double Sim. What's the difference between the two?
This is double dry.
Yeah, the double is a double dry hop.
This one's a lot more piney and brings out that pine of the Simcoe, but the first one is more fruity and, like you said, like a traditional East Coast hazy that was smoother. But I still like this one. But one thing I did notice too, I wanted to say earlier, was I didn't ever realize one of my first craft beers was the Dogfish Head 60 Minute. They use Simcoe hops in that, so I guess that makes sense why I like that.
That started you off. Anybody else a hop you try to avoid?
I don't care for listen, I know everybody is on board with the Mosaic Citra. I avoid that. I've had it so many times. It's like, you know what? I don't care to have it again. That's the only reason. You know, it's not a bad combination. I just avoid it.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely now I'm looking for more hops that I wouldn't try before, like Mosaic and Citra. I think those were like the beginning hops for everybody. So I kind of like, when I go to a bar or a brewery or whatever, I look at the ingredients and I'm like, okay, let's try this now. Let's see how it is. So yeah, so I kind of agree with that. I'm kind of steering away from them too.
If I've never heard of the hop, I'm going to go for it, because
Right.
just for that reason. I've never tried it, never heard of it, never tasted it. I want to know what it's about. So, yeah.
So it's not necessarily that you guys don't like it. It's you're just kind of played out for you. You want to try something new.
You know, I think that goes without saying for any kind of beer or any kind of style. Eventually, you know, we all have had IPAs. Eventually, we're going to drink sours. Eventually, we're going to drink Berliner Weisses, or, you know, whatever else. It's like, you know, you got to switch it up every so often.
As Gordy said, just no stouts.
Yeah, stouts. We're good.
All right. Anybody else try to avoid one? Because I want to throw it in. So
I'm definitely going to avoid Calypso.
Calypso.
And by the way, Gordy, the stout, it's a Belma. Belma is usually found in
Aroma
stouts.
hops, yeah.
Yes, Belma is
Belma, yeah.
pretty much what you find in a stout. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So my thing, I would, for the life of me, always avoid it, is Mosaic. I'd avoid it like the plague. And lately, I've been surprised where a lot of the hazies throw in Mosaic, and it's almost like a test now for me. Like, if you have Mosaic in there and I like it, it means likely the rest of your beers are fucking good too. If you can't make a beer with Mosaic that I like because it's just too grassy for me, usually like West Coast type, it's the brewery is just okay or it's not that great for me. It's if you can sneak it under my nose in a sense, that's where I'm at. But
So you try to avoid those earthy type of
mhm.
Huh.
But if you
The
get
only-
better in there,
The only one that I've ever seen like that for me is like Sriracha, that Sriracha Ace.
Sriracha
It just
Ace,
it's too like it tastes like a tea, like I got almost like a tea taste to it, you know. It just it doesn't taste good. To me, it doesn't anyway.
well, that for me is the
And
Simcoe. Simcoe is very earthy, very piney, very grassy, very lemongrassy. You know, it's I think it's Henry, correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of those hops you throw in for bittering because it does have a good bittering
Yeah.
quality to it, but it's also fruity if it's not thrown into the second whirlpool to get those alpha acids that we were talking about. So for me, Ice Queen's got the one that is more of those earthy notes.
J Hump, you seem like you want to say something.
No, I don't want to say nothing.
So another one that
And shit.
I actually try to avoid, but lately, it's been growing on me. It just can't be by itself. It's Nelson. The dryness just fucking ruins it for me. But when it's blended with something else, throw in some Simcoe or whatever, Moteca or whatever it's called. Yeah, that's
Motueka, yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot that more around now. Molteca.
yeah. The whole, I don't know, but I think the whole like thing is a hop has its day, if you will. Like there's just trends where everyone's pushing towards that 1 or 2 hop combination, and you'll go to every other fucking brewery and see it. Excuse my cousin.
Everybody watching what we're doing right now is over 21. I would think.
I think a couple
Yeah,
of hops
please.
that are dying that actually probably should be brought back are your typical, Centennial, Columbus, Chinook.
Centennial.
I haven't seen Centennial in a while.
You know what?
I know
I
those
see
are
Chinook
hops,
still
man.
on the West Coast. I see Chinook still. So
Chinook's up and coming, but
so Centennial has
Columbus-
been kind of MIA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I just say that. I haven't seen it.
It's
Is
only
it not
because
the
like
season for it,
Centennial
or
is
what?
more of a relaxed version of what they've created off. I mean, they've spawned something else off of Centennial.
Oh yeah.
It's like all the hops that we see now, or the more common hops, they've like kind of like hybrid their hops. Somebody was mentioning, I think it was Wetness that was talking about it, but it was a hybrid of something else. So like now they're just creating these hybrids to trick out the hops, to give it a different flavor and such.
Cashmere is a hybrid of Cascade and Northern Brewer.
Northern Brew, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Cashmere is a hybrid of those two.
And now they have these
So,
hops where it's like just numbers, like NZ
Yes.
55,
Yeah.
and
Idaho
or
7.
Brute
yeah.
1, like Brute 1's actually pretty good, but like it's a hybrid of something else. So I'd like to see it go backwards. Things eventually have to go backwards, where they're going to rely on what was classic and what was acceptable and easy to drink and understandable. All these tricked out hops and stuff, it just it's kind of getting like kind of out of hand in my opinion.
Yeah.
But when you guys go out to a brewery, do you look and see what hops are in the beers, and that's how you choose what you're drinking?
I do, absolutely.
Yep.
Sometimes I try to ask the beer tenders, like, okay, what's new and good? What do you like? But I also pay attention to the hops because I know that's going to be, but they don't ever list it. A lot of times, like you have to
I
ask.
hate when they don't
list
list it,
it, yeah.
especially on the cans.
Yep.
The worst
That
is
was gonna be-
Hesitant sometimes to tell you too, which I'm like, come on, we want to know what the taste profile is like.
Yeah.
what trips me out is when you ask a beer tender who works there, and they're like, let me try to find out for you. It's like, dude, you should know this shit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You got
The
the
last thing I want to hear is like,
certificate
let me go
that says
ask somebody. You should know this. That's your job. You should know it, man. Just like a waiter or a bartender serving you wine, they should know their shit. So yeah, I agree with IPA fan on that one. Know your shit if you're going to serve it to me.
So
Yeah, I'm a plumber. I know my shits.
I'm curious. I want to know, 'cause I feel like, the coast kind of have like a different opinion of what's going to be popping up and coming out. I want to hear what Ice Queen has to say about like the San Diego scene. What's coming out over there? Or what have you seen a lot more lately as far as hops like getting brewed?
Rawaka. I think that one is a one I keep seeing, and I'm not necessarily like all in love with it yet, but that one I've seen people are throwing into a lot. That and Nelson is always around here. With West Coast IPAs, like they like to use Nelson for those. So that's what I see down here. I don't really know the new stuff. Maybe I'm just not in the scene as much as I should be. But yeah, that's what I see a lot down here.
What about you guys on the East Coast? Anybody?
As far as like, I'm concerned, people are just going back to just a regular single one hopped, brew. That's what I'm getting a lot of here. On our end, you're just conforming to just having that one smash, that one single malt, single hop beer in a can where it's just relatable that everybody can drink it. Like, okay, this is what it's supposed to taste like, rather than having a whole bunch of different hops in a can. And mind you, Ice Queen, and for everybody else, we've been talking a lot about the New Zealand hops.
Yeah.
Nelson and just
And
this is just a side
and
note.
that's what-
We're all talking about like, the New Zealand hops has been really invading the US a lot lately.
And that's what I was going to say was Motueka and Rawaka, like all those you're seeing those a lot more. At least I am on cans, regardless where it's coming from, East Coast, West Coast, middle of the country. I'm just seeing those in the hop combinations a lot. I've also started to.
What was the second one you said? Rawaka?
Rawaka. Which is actually really delicious.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rawaka, Motueka,
I actually
there's a bunch
so
of them.
Humble Sea drops like boatloads of Strata and Rebecca. The last monthly I got shipped, dude, that was super delicious.
I believe Strata is also a New Zealand hop.
That was like my first.
Yes, I think you're
time
right.
having that.
I think it's a New Zealand hop. I don't know what it's going on with New Zealand, but apparently their hops are very flavorful. They're aromatic. They have a lot of flavor.
Must be the water.
They got good water over there. Yeah.
Water in the soil.
Not that green shit over here on the West Coast.
So I think we kind of just touched on it right now. Is there a hop right now that you're like, I need to get more of this? Not necessarily that I love it, but I've had a little bit of it and I kind of like it and I really need to try some more. Anything?
That combination that Ricky just showed, that combination of hop, Idaho 7 Cashmere.
Idaho 7 is one of my top ones. I look forward to.
Pure use a lot of cashmere.
That is a perfect combination hopped.
That and a big secret. I like that one too.
Idaho 7, the cashmere on this is candy and coconut.
Nice.
Whereas the first one
that sounds delicious, actually. Yeah.
The difference.
As long as it's not the pure version, because that shit was disgusting.
Well, I have a question.
Oh yeah. That was, I don't know what that was.
That was a collab with Green Cheek. That was not good.
Ice Queen is ready to speak.
You have a hard time.
2 for 2.
Like with other people saying, "Oh, this hop tastes like this," and they're like, "What are you talking about?" Like I don't taste that at all. Like I think it really depends on the person. I think I talked about this before too. Like DNA depends on how you taste hops.
Sure.
Yes.
So you guys have a hard time with that?
Yes.
Certain ones, yeah.
I personally am one of the few people who has like a really hard time picking up hop flavors, but I take back. I'm really bad at explaining what I taste. Decent enough and being like, I like this because it tastes kind of like this or doesn't taste kind of like that. And people are like, it's not supposed to taste like that. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I like it or I don't. But whatever, man. What about you guys?
I think one thing, Samantha, you're talking about with it's a sensory perception for everyone. Everyone's sensory perception is different.
Right.
But you actually can train your palate to taste the things that hops are supposed to taste like. And it's actually by actually tasting the hop raw by itself.
Nice.
Oh, so I'll just go to a farm and just.
Because we all have the opportunity to do that.
No.
I want to do that now.
Hop palate or something,
Hey, you're telling me I should go taste everything raw.
But, all right, let me ask you this. In reference to drinking your beers, does everybody read the can? I personally don't want to know what the hop combination is. I like to figure it out myself before I read it.
Yeah,
everybody else.
that's what I've been doing.
I like to read the hops just so I know what I'm getting myself into. So I kind of educate and kind of like want to know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna ask, and this was one of the things that I was looking at when I was shopping today. I was like, are you guys a little annoyed that a lot of these breweries don't put what the hops are?
Yeah.
They just put like a little flavor, if that, a little flavor profile, but So a lot of them don't put what type of hops.
No.
Why do you think they
And-
do that? Because they think we don't care, or what?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you can be like, they're like a group of us right now just can be biased about what we're going to drink. Like,
Right.
IPA fan just said, look, I'm not going to drink a fucking a mosaic beer. If you put that on there, now you're like predisposed to like, I don't like that hop. I'm not going to drink it. So like, it's to their advantage to not do that and leave it up to the person to drink it. Like, okay, well, I bought it, I drank it. Now I'm kind of stuck with it.
But it's also a selling point.
They reuse the same exact ones over and over again, so they don't want you to know that.
That's what's up.
Funkish.
That's what's up.
But I'm just saying, like when we're on Instagram, we're seeing what's being sold, and when they do a description of what the beer is with the hops and the aroma, that sells you right off the bat. So I think that's a big thing people should do.
See, that would
for me,
sell you.
since I'm not. I was going to say, for me, since I'm not well versed in being able to pick out flavor profiles of specific hops or even hop combinations. A lot of times I'll look for the hops just so I know, hey, I really like this. What is this hop combination? So I can seek that out.
Right.
But I am also kind of to go back to that other point is I am very influenced by what people say. Like I'll taste something, I'll be like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm like, kind of tastes fruity, a little bit, a little piney or whatever. And then somebody says, yeah, I taste peaches. And I taste it again. I'm like, yeah, that is kind of peaches. Like it's hard for me to break out all those flavors that are in there and really pick out what the flavor profile is on my own. I'm still trying to learn that. With single hops, it's a little bit easier, but hop combinations, it's hard. But
Well,
for me, it helps.
When you're drinking beer,
helps.
don't you go through the library of fruits in your mind as you're like, because for me, I swirl it in my mouth. I'm like, no, it's not orangey. It's not like, pineapple-y. It's not mango. I mean, I go through the library of fruits and I'm like, all right, I can taste more of this than that. That's where
Dirty Al, you're just amazing.
I was just
So,
going to say, I wish I had his mind when I'm tasting beer.
He wants to do you.
I mean, me and
Yeah.
Ricky have done this. Me and Ricky have done this when we've gone on IG Live before, and we won't look at the can. We know what we're drinking. We'll pour it, and we'll quiz each other. What's the hop combination? What's the flavor profile?
Well, you guys
You
do
get used
What's the
to it.
SRM?
You two, it's between you guys.
Wait,
And then we got
Cisco's
to
trying
what
to
the
get something out.
SRM is.
There is so much to say about this topic. I think we need to have a part 2, which I think we'll give a little gap and maybe have it again in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
With that being said, we are going to end here before we get cut off. So everybody, thanks as always, and cheers. Go check out some hops.